Pluto TV and Tubi are probably the most diverse free streaming services out there. Both channels have countless choices and really great movies. I don't need to pay for any services with these two choices. I don't have a cable television bill. All I pay for is the internet every month, and it's well worth the price of admission. I recommend you scroll through both Pluto TV and Tubi for the plethora of choices provided. And speaking of Pluto TV, which is a very conscious segue, we are going to look at 5 free streaming Christmas films available for all to view. Here are a lot of the more popular free streaming video sites available for your Christmas viewing pleasure and your viewing pleasure in general, just regular movies and television shows. Here are the 5 movies we'll be taking a look at, and I must admit I've seen Trading Places a dozen times, but this is the first time I've ever seen it stream free. Please put your comments, thoughts, and movie suggestions down below in the comments section, and let us depart into the world of Pluto TV and see what they have to offer this holiday season. TERRIFIER 3 is a 2024 American independent Christmas slasher film co-produced, written, and edited and directed by Damien Leone. It is the sequel to TERRIFIER 2 from 2022 and the third installment in the TERRIFIER film series. The film stars David Howard Thornton, Lauren Lavera, Elliot Fulliam, and Samantha Scafidi. On the days leading up to Christmas, Sienna Shaw attempts to rebuild her life while pursued by Art the Clown alongside his new accomplice, a possessed Victoria Hayes. Following the critical and commercial success of TERRIFIER 2, Leone began writing for the third film with plans for an overarching narrative. Leone wanted to feature Victoria more prominently, as he regretted leaving the character underdeveloped in the first film. Principal photography began in February of 2024 on a $2 million budget and wrapped that April. TERRIFIER 3 premiered at Fantastic Fest on September 19th of 2024 and was theatrically released in the United States on October 11th by Cineverse and Iconic Events Releasing. The film received generally positive reviews from critics and was a commercial success, grossing $90.3 million, becoming the highest grossing unrated film of all time. Cineverse's highest grossing film and the highest grossing film of the franchise. A fourth film, TERRIFIER 4, is in development. This is not a feel-good movie. It can get pretty disgusting at times. It's a horror film, and if you're not familiar with the TERRIFIER series, the creators are not shy with the visuals. There's no suggestive consequences in these films. You see the gore front and center. I like the series a lot. I think Art the Clown is a demonic and scary character. I think he's a good character. Art can even be funny at times in a dark comedy kind of way. This is not Friday the 13th. This is not Halloween. Those films are mild compared to the TERRIFIER series. You have to go into these films with an idea of how films are made. It's obviously all fantasy and special effects. Very effective special effects. These movies get freaking gross. I do find myself turning my head a couple of times during the film. There's just certain visuals I don't need to see. I highly recommend the film for die-hard horror fans. Everyone else, stick to Elf maybe, Home Alone, Christmas Vacation. Those might be more your forte. Trading Places is a 1983 American comedy film directed by John Landis and written by Timothy Harris and Herschel Weingrod, starring Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, Ralph Bellamy, Don Amici, Denholm Elliott, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis, so luscious and sweet. The film tells the story of an upper-class commodities broker and a poor street hustler whose lives intersect over the Christmas and New Year holidays when they are unwittingly made the subjects of an elaborate bet to test how each man will perform when their life circumstances are swapped. Harris conceived the outline for Trading Places in the early 1980s after meeting 2 wealthy brothers who were engaged with an ongoing rivalry with each other. He and his writing partner Weingrod developed the idea as a project to star Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. When they were unable to participate, Landis cast Aykroyd, with whom he had worked previously, and a young but increasingly popular Murphy in his second feature film role. I think the first one was 48 Hours. Landis also cast Curtis against the intent of the studio, Paramount Pictures. She was famous mainly for her roles in horror films, which were looked down upon at the time. Principal photography took place from December 1982 to March 1983, entirely on location in Philadelphia and New York City. Elmer Bernstein scored the film, using Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's The Marriage of Figaro. All right, as an underlying theme, Trading Places was considered a box office success on its release, earning over $90.4 million to become the fourth highest grossing film of 1983 in the United States and Canada, and $120.6 million worldwide. It received generally positive reviews, with critics praising the central cast and film's revival of the 1930s and 1940s screwball comedy genre, though they criticized Trading Places for lacking the genre's moral message and instead promoting the accumulation of wealth. It received multiple award nominations, including an Academy Award for Bernstein's score, and won 2 BAFTA awards for Elliott and Curtis. The film also launched or revitalized the careers of its main cast, who each appeared in several other films throughout the 1980s. In particular, Murphy became one of the highest paid and most sought after comedians in Hollywood. In the years since its release, the film has been praised as one of the greatest comedy films and Christmas films ever made, though it has also drawn criticism for its use of racial jokes and language. Oh, please. In 1988, Bellamy and Amici reprised their characters for Murphy's comedy film Coming to America. In 2010, the film was referenced in U.S. congressional testimony concerning the reform of commodities trading market to prevent the insider trading demonstrated in Trading Places. And can I also mention, Jamie Lee Curtis shows her boobies twice in this. Twice she shows her boobies. Oh, she has nice boobies. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, you're so luscious. I would categorize this movie as a Christmas film, as a good portion of it does take place during the silly season. Although it does not focus on Christmas, Christmas is very much in the background. And I've seen this movie probably a dozen times over the years, and it still holds up as a fantastic comedy. I mean, it's actually funny. I highly recommend this film for your holiday viewing. Friday After Next is a 2002 American stoner comedy film directed by Marcus Raboy and starring Ice Cube, who also wrote the film, Mike Epps in a dual role, John Witherspoon, Don D.C. Curry, Anna Maria Horsford, and Clifton Powell as Pinky. It is the third installment in the Friday trilogy, as it tells the story of Craig and his cousin Day Day getting jobs as security guards at a shopping center when a robber dressed as Santa Claus breaks into their apartment and steals their presents and the rent money that is to be given to their landlady. This film was theatrically released on November 22nd of 2002 to generally negative reviews, though it was deemed an improvement over its predecessor. This just isn't my kind of movie. I remember watching the original Friday years ago, and although I don't remember a lot about it, I do remember I didn't care much about it. On the flip side, my buddy loves these movies. Just something I just don't get. I can only base this on my personal tastes, but I suppose I can say the same thing no matter what movie I review. This movie is just a loud, obnoxious, and unfunny buddy picture, thin on plot and very thin on comedy. I thought it was terrible. I wouldn't recommend it. My buddy probably would. If you're into these stupid movies, if you like the original Friday, you'd probably like this one. Nothing Like the Holidays is a 2008 film about a Puerto Rican family living in the area of Humboldt Park, Chicago, facing what may be their last Christmas together. It was directed by Alfredo de Villa and features an ensemble cast. The film was released on December 12th of 2008, and yeah, that film does have a pretty solid cast. You got Alfred Molina, Elizabeth Pena, John Leguizamo, Deborah Messing, Freddie Rodriguez, Vanessa Ferlito, Melanie Diaz, Louis Guzman, Jay Hernandez, Alexander Bautista, Ramses Jimenez, I'm sure I destroyed that, and Manny Perez, Jessica Camacho as well. The main plot point is a family gathers for Christmas, and the mother of the family announces she is going to divorce the husband because he's been cheating on her, but he really hasn't been cheating on her, but you'll find out what happens in the movie when you watch it. What ensues is a number of emotional dialogues. In most cases, it comes off as a stage play, although there are a lot of location shots. This could easily be a play on stage. Of course, the children all have issues as well. One is a struggling actress, another's being pressured into giving her mother-in-law a grandchild. Another is an ex-gang member and is dealing with the murderer of his brother being out of jail. This is a fine drama. It's basically a soap opera with all these different storylines going on. The performances are solid. It's a simple story and everything wraps up satisfactory. I would recommend this film for your Christmas season. Secrets of the Christmas Factory from 2019, exploring the traditional trappings of a British Christmas, including tinsel, trees, jumpers, and even sprouts, a chance to visit their factories up and down the country. This isn't a feature-length film, but rather a short documentary on how certain Christmas-themed goodies are made in the factories. I thought it was pretty interesting and wanted to share it with you. This is a fun documentary that I highly recommend. You're brought to 6 different factories to see how Christmas goods are produced. Tinsel, chocolate, jumpers, Christmas trees, Brussels sprouts, and Christmas pudding. It's a breakaway from all the films being spotlighted this week and a joy to see how all this stuff is made. I had a good time watching it. Check it out. Yeah, there wasn't much video. I couldn't find a lot of pictures or video on that last one, so I had to double up on the pictures. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a short little documentary of different factories. It was cool. We're on Pluto this time out, and there's a lot of live TV channels that you can go to. There's a plethora of them. I don't usually watch the channels. I usually go to the on-demand stuff. There's Trading Places. You have to watch Trading Places to understand what I'm doing. There's a lot of good movies going on here. Let's see what we got. Back to the Future, The Mummy, Shawshank Redemption, definitely. The Equalizer movies. There's tons of stuff. The Ted movies. Salt is a good movie. The Ace Venturas, the Austin Powers. I mean, they got a shitload. Jingle All the Way. I reviewed this, but I think it was a different streaming service. I reviewed it. But yeah. And there's the Terminator movies. Good stuff. Indiana Jones films. I mean, there is a plethora. This is one of the better ones. This and Tubi are 2 of my go-tos. But yeah, they got a lot of Christmas movies too, a lot of Hallmark-esque stuff. But all the streaming channels have those. They must be cheap in order to get to put on there. But Zorro, cool. Ghost, I just watched that the other day. It's a good movie. And yeah, I'll leave you at that. As good as it gets. That's a good movie. If you haven't heard of these, I'm kind of suggesting some movies for you real quick. What else we got? The Scream movies are all right. Coming to America, of course. Shaft is a good movie. The Fridays, I'm not so into those. True Grit. They haven't seen the original. The remake is really good. I like the remake, and so on and so forth. All right, I'm stretching this out way too far. Merry Christmas. This is our 3rd day, and obviously we're doing Pluto today, and tomorrow I think is Amazon. So I will catch you tomorrow. Peace out.